Hello student, good morning. To continue the lectures, that is the parasitism and parasitic adaptations. That is organs for penetration. Organs for penetration. The parasites must penetrate the host body for entering it, so the parasites develop certain structures for the penetration. Miracidium larva has a conical process at the anterior end called apical papilla. There are a pair of penetration glands inside the body near the anterior end. Suctorial pharynx. All the endoparasites except cystodes have a suctorial pharynx, by means of which liquid food is sucked into the intestine. Intestine is always branched. Reproductive system. It is highly developed, and the production of the eggs is prolific. The parasitic flatworms are hermaphrodite in cystodes. The reproductive organs are much more elaborate and are repeated each each proglottids. Each mature proglottis possesses one set of, that is teniasolium, or two set of diphylidium of male and female reproductive organs. In each gravite proglottids, all other organs of the system generated to make rooms for the uterus, which is greatly enlarged and branched to accommodate a large number of eggs in the gravite segment. Physiological adaptations. Protective mechanism. In the alimentary canal of the host, the parasite protects itself from the action of digestive juices of the host. The tapeworms accomplish this by stimulating the walls of the gut to secrete mucus, which then forms a protective clothing around the parasites. By secreting anti-enzymes to neutralize the digestive enzymes of the host, and by probably continually renewing their protective body covering, that is tegument lime cells in the body wall of tapeworms, neutralize the acids produced by the host. Blood parasites are known to withstand the effect of antibodies and phagocytes of blood by some mechanism. Osmoregulation. The osmotic pressure of body fluid of endoparasites, especially in case of trematodes, in almost the same as that of the host, so that there is no necessity of osmoregulation. But in the intestinal tapeworms, the osmotic pressure is slightly higher than that of surrounding medium. This permits absorption of nourishment from their general body surface from the surrounding medium. Anaerobiosis. The pH tolerance of the parasites is high, from 4 to 11. The intestinal parasite lives in an environment completely devoid of the oxygen. The respiration is of the anaerobic type, consisting of the extracting oxygen from the food stuff. In the absence of oxygen, energy is obtained by the fermentation of glycogen, which is broken into lactic acids. Periodic appearance. There are some parasites which appears at the definite period. The larvae of Ucheridia bancrofti circulate into the peripheral blood circulation in the night between 10 to 4 am. For further development, they require Culex mosquitoes. The Culex bites a man a night, that is nocturnal in habits. Their migration is correlated with the nocturnal habit of the Culex. Neoteny, it is species phenomenon in which the larvae are capable of reproduction and they produce young ones. Ligula, that is cystoda, exhibits neoteny, and this can be considered an adaptation for parasitic mode of life. High fertility. The parasites develops enormous fertility, producing millions of fertile eggs. This is correlated with the passive transference of the effective stages of the parasites from one host into another. While passing through the complex life cycle, these potential offsprings face several hazards, as a result of which a very small percentage of the total eggs produced reaches adulthood. For example, in Fasciola, in the eggs fall in water, the first larva, Myriacidium, finds a suitable snail within a limited period. The Cercaria insisted on visitation within the reach of the final host, and if the metacercaria happens to be ingested by the proper final host, only then the life cycle is completed. Only then the life cycle is completed. Only this, the larval stages themselves multiply. Say for example, for sporocyst produces a number of radii. Sporocyst produces number of radii, radia larva. A single radia produces a number of cercarial larvae. Similarly, a single hexacanth may be multiplied by generating buds which produce daughter and granddaughter, scoliosis, hydratids, or echinococcus. Transference of eggs or infective stages. This is the another major problem for which the parasites have to develop adaptations. Transference from one host to another is either active transfer and passive transfer. Active transfer, this is a less common method. These infection stages are actively transferred to final host. The larval stages of the most parasites bore directly through the skin of their host, such as the larvae of hookworms and schistosomes. Passive transfer. This is the most common method and usually results from the careless habits of the host and is achieved in the several ways, such as contamination, contagion, and inoculation or infection occurs when the host takes uncooked food or contaminated water. The intermediate hosts, such as mosquitoes, inoculate parasites when they suck the blood of the host. Effect of parasitism on the host. Although a single host may immune to a parasite by virtue of being constitutionally unstable as a habitat, it is important to recognize that the establishment of the parasite in a host also involves the capacity of the parasite to resist reactions of the host that might be deleterious. These host reactions would include inflammatory tissues response and immune response of humoral characters. Both type of host reactions occurs in most parasitisms. Involves characters. Involves characters. The immune system in higher vertebrates is composed of several tissue components. These includes fixed cells of spleen, liver, lymph nodes, and thymus. Thymus. There is also a system of mobile phagocytic cells, originally mainly in the bone marrow, including the heterophils and the eosinophils leukocytes. In addition, there are number of potential macrophages cells in the body, such undifferentiated mesenchyme cells. Some of these cells has the ability to elaborate antibodies which may be released from cells into the body fluid. These antibodies may be combined with parasitic organisms or their products produce in inhibitory effects. Peculiar type of immunity develops in man due to the presence of the tapeworms. After the first infection, no further infection is possible as long as the primary infection lasts. This is the term premonition. The possible role of interference in the immunity of host of animals parasites should be also mentioned. These substances are produced in response to presence of the foreign agent. Unlike antibodies, they seems the readers a host that until a habitations for ultracellular parasites. There are other types of host response that cannot be clearly recognized in characters. For example, the changes in the fatty acids found in the alimentary canal of the animals infected with the tapeworms, hemolympus, or the marked modified of the amino acids composition of while in sheep harboring Fasciola hepatica, or obviously host response to the presence of the parasite concerned. It would be a great interest to determine whether such responses are beneficial to the parasites, to the host, or to neither. This is the parasitism and parasitic adaptation. And this is the last point is effect of parasitism on the host. Okay, thank you.